Right, so hey guys, welcome back to another one of my videos with me, of course, Ellis, and today we're going to be looking at SRAM axis. So in today's video, we're going to be going through one of the SRAM axis derailleurs. I have the XO1 here. There are two other ones, the GX and the XX1. They're extremely similar to this, but I'll tell you the differences when we get to them. So we're going to be doing a basic overview of the derailleur and the shifter, and we're also going to compare it to two other derailleurs that I've got here. And we're going to be going through the setup of the derailleur, how to put it on the bike, and then how to index the gears. So it's going to be a bit of an in-depth video into the SRAM axis. So first of all, let's have a look at the derailleur itself. This is the XO1 variant of the axis group set. So there are three different ones. The first one to come out was the XX1, which is the cross-country style one. So that's the one with the carbon fibre cage, the really light one, and that's basically made for cross-country bikes to be nice and light. So the next one down from XX1 is this one right here. This is the XO1. The XO1, the only real big difference is the weight with it. All the technology is exactly the same. The weight is slightly heavier because it's got a forged aluminium cage instead of a carbon cage, and it's also got a lot of stainless steel parts on it instead of titanium, which come on the XX1. The next one down from the XO1 is the GX axis, which is the lowest end budget axis, which is absolutely amazing. I think you can get the upgrade kit for about £500–600, which comes with the charger, the battery, the controller, and the derailleur, which is absolutely awesome, and it's really good to get into something like this with something as low end as a GX derailleur. So as I say, throughout the three different derailleurs that SRAM offer with the Axis, they're all exactly the same technology, they all speak to each other exactly the same, the controller and the derailleur. The only difference is the actual build of the derailleur, just like how it works in the normal group sets. It's usually a lot lighter for the XX1, and then if you go all the way down to something like SX, which is the very low end 12-speed that SRAM do, it's a lot heavier because it's using a lot cheaper manufacturing techniques and a lot of cheaper parts. So before we go into detail with the XO1 derailleur, let's compare it to two other derailleurs that I've got here. So the first one I've got here is an old GX. This is an old GX 11-speed. It's from about 2016. This used to be on the Boardman, this did. And it was a solid little thing. I had it on the Boardman for God knows how many years, probably just under 3 years. Yeah, 2–3 years, and it worked absolutely amazing. And it's still perfectly working now. It's just got a lot of marks on it and it's been scratched up. But yeah, you could chuck this on a bike and it still worked really well. So one of the main differences, as you can see, is the size. The size of the XO1 axis is massive compared to the actual size of the GX standard cable. And if you look at the back of them as well, you can just see the size of the cage is so much bigger. So now I've opened the cage up on both of them, you can really see the size difference in the two derailleurs. As you can see, the main size difference is the cage. It's absolutely huge. And then there's also a size difference in the main body because you've got the extra servo which is in here and you've got the battery on the back of it. But overall, it's not much heavier because if you take the battery out, it's not loads heavier than the GX, but you can definitely feel there's a bit more weight in there, which you'd expect for the servo and all the different components that are inside it. So now if we compare it to a more modern GX, this is a GX 12-speed. This is the newest one. This is the 2022 model. It's got the lunar grey and everything on it. This is the one that I've got on the Boardman at the moment, and this works absolutely perfectly. And as you can see on this one, the cages are near enough identical. Exactly the same jockey wheels on it. They'll have exactly the same clutch in it. They both have exactly the same roller bearing clutch, and it's the newer clutch compared to the old GX, which was only the 2.1 star clutch. But as you can see, cage is near enough the same. The main body is pretty similar in size. It's mainly just where the servo is here, which adds a bit of chunk on, and then the battery on the back, of course. So now we've compared the three different derailleurs, let's compare the shifters. So the two oldest style shifters are near enough exactly the same. This is the 11-speed, this is the 12-speed. You can't tell a difference from the outside except the different paint jobs on them, and they're just SRAM shifters and they work and they're really, really good. Whereas the big difference is this one right here. This is the Axis controller. So here we have the GX SRAM Axis controller. It's nice and small, nice and compact, nice and light as well because it's got a CR2032 battery in it, which lasts absolutely forever, SRAM says. So hopefully I won't need to replace this battery anytime soon. On this controller, it's got a multifunction paddle on the front. If you press the up, I've got it set on mine where it goes up the derailleur, and then if you press the bottom, it goes into the harder gears. So that's how I've got it set up. That's kind of muscle memory from having the other shifter. And then there is a little sneaky paddle on the back, and if you click that, it makes the derailleur go into the easy gears. And it also makes a really cool Robocop sounding noise, which I just think sounds absolutely cool as anything. So let's talk more in depth about the actual XO1 axis derailleur. On the back of the derailleur you have the battery. This battery lasts for about 20 hours on one charge and it takes about 1 hour to charge. So the whole system is tested by SRAM to an IP69X waterproof and dustproof rating. This means it's good for creek crossings, dust and mud and different things like that. And they also say on the website that you can pressure wash it as well, which is absolutely awesome. Just like any other derailleur that SRAM sell today, it's got the Eagle technology. That means it's got the 10 to 52 tooth range on it, which is absolutely amazing. All axis derailleurs come with something called the overload clutch. And as if you saw on my new bike video, which you can click up there to go and watch, I hit the bike and I hit the derailleur on it, and do not do it at home. So basically the overload clutch is if something impacts the side of it, it'll go in and it'll go back out. So basically what that does is it protects the servo and protects everything inside, which I think is an absolutely game-changing feature for a derailleur to have. And it also protects the derailleur hanger from snapping, so well done SRAM. I can't stress enough, do not do that to your own derailleur because I can't promise you that you won't break it. So now we've talked a bit about the derailleur, let's fit it to the bike. So fitting the axis derailleur to your bike is the easiest thing you'll do. So basically, if you already have an internally routed or an externally routed cable derailleur, take it off, take all the cables out, and then we can start fitting the derailleur. So for this process, I recommend locking the cage out like that, just so it's a bit easier to put onto the bike. So to fit it is just like fitting any other derailleur from SRAM. It's a 5mm Allen key. I highly recommend you use a Torx wrench to torque it down. So fitting the derailleur is just like fitting any other derailleur from any company really. Put it on, line everything up, make sure the B-tension screw is on the little groove on the hanger, and then tighten it down. The recommendation for tightening this one down is 5 to 12 Newton meters, so do it somewhere in the range of 5 to 12 Newton meters with your Torx wrench. There we go. So now the derailleur is on, all you need to do is put the chain on. So just like putting any chain on any other derailleur, in front of the top jockey, behind the bottom jockey, and then thread it down, then bring it up around the front chainring. This is a narrow wide, so you've got to make sure you seat it on them teeth nicely. So now all you need to do is add the quick links. On this XO1 chain, I've got little oil slick ones which not only look cool, but they also help me spot the master link amongst the rest of the silver chain. So once you've clicked it together, you can't actually pull it apart because it's a relatively new chain on this bike. On older slightly worn chains you can do it, but all you need to do is engage the derailleur like that, and then get it above the chainstay, and then just hit your pedal and it pops into place. So there you go. There's the rear derailleur and the chain fitted. All we need to do is put the shifter on now and we'll be all set. So for the controller you can use the existing clamp that's already on the bars that you had for your previous SRAM shifter. All you need is a 4mm Allen key and just tighten it straight on. If you've got carbon bars on your bike like I do not over tighten this or you'll crack your carbon bar. So now we've got everything on the bike, all you need to do is pop your little battery in now. Little green light should show up on the rear mech here, which shows it's 100%. If that then goes to orange, it means it's like 50% in the middle, and then if it goes to red, it basically means get it charged. In this video, I'm not going to show you how to connect it to your phone because there are a lot of other videos out there which will show it a lot better than I can. But what I will show you is how to do the indexing. So up on the shifter at the front, it's got a little button underneath that says Axis next to it. And this is basically a micro adjust. So it adjusts the derailleur ever so slightly either way. So if you hold down that button on the front and click the up or the down paddles, the little green light on here should show up every time you click it. That means you're moving it a fraction of a mil either way. What's really good about this system is you can actually index each individual cog on the cassette. With a more traditional cable shift system, there's always 1 or 2 gears that you can never get perfect, but you can't individually on every single cog allocate the derailleur a position. With this, you can allocate exactly where the derailleur needs to go. So once you've done that, your derailleur should shift As I say, your derailleur should shift nice and smooth like that. And the big thing is, the only thing that will ever stretch on the drivetrain now is not a cable, it's your chain. And if you've got a chain checker, it's easy enough to check that. With a cable, when it stretched, you had to re-index it, and it was just a big pain in the arse. This, you'll never ever have to re-index it after you've indexed it for the first time. So I hope you've enjoyed this video on the first look of the XO1 Axis derailleur from SRAM. So as I say, this has been quite a simple little video going over some of the key features and how to set it up, how to put it on the bike and how to index it. If you want to do things like connect it to your phone and do different things like that, check the video in the description from SRAM, which goes more into depth about the actual derailleur and about indexing it and about customizing it on the phone. They'll do a lot better of a job of showing you how to do it on your phone than I will. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and not too far down the line in the future I'll be doing a review on this, maybe after a month, after 2 months, to tell you how it's holding up and tell you how I'm getting on with it. And remember to smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the little notification bell next to the subscribe button to be notified every single time I upload, and share the video with your friends, it means a lot to me. And if you ever have any questions about anything, just leave me a little comment down in the comment box down below. I try and answer every single one that I get. So as I say, I hope you've enjoyed this video. My name's Ellis, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.